The scheduling of interventions always is one of the biggest problems because of the limited number of resources, especially for small rural districts. The schools that are most successful never have the luxury of being able to hire additional staff members, but what they tend to have in common is that they're very creative in the existing use of, or the use of their existing resources. And so, you know, for the scheduling of the interventions for small schools may mean doing cross-grade groupings, having a combination of second, third graders in an intervention group. It also may mean taking a look at what resources that we have within our building and how well they're being used. I gave an example this morning about schools, you know, a school using their librarian to carry out an intervention. With one intervention group during the day. I work in a middle school in Washington State where the band teacher does one. And so, you know, and especially making sure that are we using paraprofessionals and teacher assistants. One of the things I always question, and not that it's not appropriate, because it most often is, but boy, you know, sometimes that we have a pair that's in a room kind of shadowing. Could that pair not be used to carry out a direct, intervention with a group, and yet still be, having the student that they're in that class to monitor in their particular group, so that they're still meeting the needs of that student, but yet being used to be able to carry out intervention on the behalf of lots of kids. The other one is that I always recommend, and this is one where I keep mentioning Williston, but they've also done that in West Fargo, is where they're starting to look at, how many kids do we have in interventions, and does it warrant issuing one of our staff members at that grade level to carrying that out? So, for instance, if you might have 3 teachers, like Hagen does this. If you have 3 teachers at a given grade level, one of those teachers may actually be teaching something like reading mastery or the intervention instead of the traditional core like treasures. So that is regular staff being devoted to it, so that we're not always relying just on special ed and specialized teachers. And are we making greatest use of our available resources like our paraprofessionals and teacher assistants, and then also looking at the creative groupings of students, like Walk to Read model would be an example of that. I talked about that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's